Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Public Opinion Tea Time with your host, Pam and Vanetta. Look, I got Vanetta with me.
I'm out.
Okay, we ran into each other. I was out dining, and she called me, and I said, hey, I'm out at this restaurant, and she joined me, and she came back here with me to what I call the Couch of Wisdom. And we are going to be discussing what everybody is talking about, and that is the death of Tina Turner. And Tina Turner is the queen of rock and roll. She just passed away, and everybody is talking about her death.
Tribute.
Everybody is paying tributes. Everybody is just discussing her. And everything that people, I believe, have been saying that I have read and heard about is just her strength and her resilience.
And at 44, they were like, she had a revitalization. And I'm thinking 44 is young. But I just saw her play 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we both went to see the play. I was fortunate enough to be able to take my mom to see the Tina Turner musical. And my mother absolutely loved it. I was telling Vanetta about a week ago or so, I said my mother was so moved at the intermission. She was like in tears because she said, oh, I remember when she was talking about how she finally got away from Ike and how she had gone to the hotel and said, I only have 36 cents to my name, but I promise I will repay it. And she thanked the man for his kindness. And my mother remembered that. So I just, it's so many things to think about when you think, not even just her music, which was phenomenal.
Iconic. But with those legs.
Yes.
I remember when I was young, they were insured by Lords of London.
Oh,
yes.
Isn't that something? Right. Her legs, her forearms, everything about her was just iconic. And she was
hair.
Yeah, and she was born Anime Bullock and Nutbush, what Mississippi or in Tennessee or whatever.
I thought we said Nutbush. Oh, we got
it. Was Nutbush. It was Nutbush. I remember that. But
and raised by her grandmother when her mother left. Yes. Now the play inferred that who she thought was her father was not her father.
I just remember the fact that her mother left because she had finally had enough of the abuse. And she left with her sister, her older sister.
Right.
And she was raised, like you said, by her grandmother. And then she went to live with her mother when she was like 17. And she, that was when and then she ended up going out and she went to a club. And that's where she found Ike, who was older than her. Yeah. And
already had a somewhat established
career. And he was calling on women to come up and sing for his review. And she got up there and sang and knocked everybody out the park. So she ended up being with Ike. But it was a very tumultuous relationship. And they fought, and and she actually, and I didn't know this, like we discussed, she got pregnant by actually a band member in the Tina Turner review. And but he kicked him out the band, and she ended up staying and had no child with him, and he just forced her into so much.
He was abusive physically, mentally,
and everything.
I think he played on, in the movie it showed that he played on her sense of abandonment.
Yeah. But you know what? She finally found the strength to leave him. And then, but she wasn't an overnight success in her solo career. And that's, and those are the things that I take away from her whole life story is number one, her resilience. Number two is the fact that you cannot give somebody else the opportunity to give value to your life. You have to understand your own value. And it took a while before she understood her value.
But she knew her worth in this regard. She was not going to compromise when she left him on her musical style.
Right. And she wasn't. That I got from her. Also, you are never too old to be successful. And I love that for myself. I'm going to be 60. There are still so many things that I want to do. So much life that is left.
John Lemon, remember that.
But there's so much left that I want to do. And I look upon her and I'm like, it wasn't easy for her, but she did find her way. And she found that, what they say is that a setback is a setup for a comeback. And that is exactly what she
fell to rock bottom. I mean, she was singing at night, cleaning houses in the day.
Yeah.
From
living, for her kids, yes.
Living in a palatial mansion or whatever. And that's a fall that a lot of people wouldn't have recouped
Yeah.
from, and she did.
Mhm.
But she believed in her dream, and she rock was in her heart, and she was a trailblazer in that regard.
Yes.
I don't know any at the time. I didn't know any
Yes.
Black rock people, and I had the pleasure to see her one time in concert.
I never saw her live in concert.
She was in Dayton. I saw her in 1980. Let me see. I want to be right. 7.
Wow. Yeah, she was just a force to be reckoned with. So many, so much great music. With I could, you know, when she was with Ike and Tina Turner Review, and how they always did the Proud Mary. And you're right. You couldn't wait till you got to that part, you know, where you can go like, okay, you know, I love that part.
I get.
Yes, but then even in her solo career, you know, Tiny Dancer, she had, you know, What's Love Got to Do with it? You know, just
she was right. The only time I've ever seen Oprah starstruck, well, 2 times, was with Tina Turner and with Aretha Franklin.
Yes, and both of them are. Aretha Franklin was Queen of Soul, and Tina Turner is Queen of Rock and Roll. And you know, it's just, you know, she's just like you said, just a trailblazer. And she stayed true to herself. Finally, she was like, I like rock and roll. This is what I want to do. I'm going to forge my way with this. And she knocked them out of the park. I'm telling you, every time she was on that stage, you knew she was on that stage.
She put on a hell of a show. And let me tell you what she would do. She changed 2 or 3 times. And I mean,
oh yeah, just
dripping with sweat. And them wigs, I remember I went with a man who was not of the same persuasion as I. And he was like, Tina's hair has really grown.
Yeah, in 2 minutes. Right. Okay. It's called a wig. But
wig.
But she would wear those wigs.
I'm gonna set it to play. Like the cat's been sucking on your head.
But you know what? There have been so many tributes that have come up, but I'm just gonna read a little excerpt from the tribute that Angela Bassett paid to her, because you know Angela Bassett played her in the movie What's Love Got to Do with It, and she said that she said, how do you say farewell to a woman who owned her pain and trauma and used it as a means to help change the world? Through her courage in telling her story, her commitment to stay the course in her life, no matter the sacrifice, and her determination to carve out a space in rock and roll for herself and for others who looked like her, Tina Turner showed others who lived in fear what a beautiful future filled with love, compassion, and freedom should look like. Her final words to me, meaning Angela Bassett, were, you never mimic me. Instead, you reached deep into your soul, found your inner Tina, and showed her to the world. And all I can say is, we need to all reach inside ourselves and show our inner Tina. And so in parting, all we can say is, she is simply the best. And that is so true. She is simply the best, better than all the rest. So until next time, if you enjoy watching us, continue to watch us on Facebook, YouTube. And if you cannot watch us, listen on the go wherever you get your podcast. Until next time, we'll see you for another episode of Public Opinion Tea Time. Bye.